This is a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, but what finally pushed me over the edge is watching the NBA playoffs this year. It's the only time of the year that I sit down and watch a decent amount of TV, and every year, commercials just keep getting fucking worse. It's insane to me how much the fundamentals of advertising are completely lost nowadays, and I'm beyond baffled how these commercials even make air. What you need to realize when you see a bad commercial is that it's not just one person approving these ads, it's tons of people who have to agree on the direction, write it all up, show it to their higher-ups, find actors, shoot the ad, all of these steps where nobody steps in and says, that's fucking stupid. So what kinds of ads am I talking about? Well, where do we begin? I guess we can start with what the fundamentals of advertising even are. You want the viewer to remember your name, remember what you're selling, and remember why they should spend money on it. Another important factor is that if your ad is on TV, you should assume that the viewer has left the room when the commercials come on. Assume that they got up to go to the bathroom, get food, any number of things. Assume that they are not sitting down and watching the screen at all. Hell, even if they are remaining in the room, they're almost certainly looking down at their phone during commercials. If you're making a TV commercial, you're actually just making a radio commercial with some visuals. The amount of commercials I've seen during these playoffs that check none of those boxes is absurd. If you've also been watching the NBA playoffs, you've undoubtedly seen the No Flex Zone commercial. That rhythm just made a significant number of you instinctively reach to hit the mute button on your TV remote, and I am right there with you. Now let's take a critical look at this abortion of an advertisement. I think it's for Taco Bell, but honestly I don't remember, and that's pretty fucking terrible given that they probably spent a significant amount of money getting this ad space. I've watched almost every playoff game this season. This commercial gets shown during every commercial break throughout those games, and even I can't confidently tell you what the hell it's advertising. So what makes it so bad? In short, it breaks every rule you could possibly come up with when it comes to advertising. It's on TV and should therefore assume I've either left the room or am currently looking at a different device during the commercial breaks. I'm not seeing what the screen is showing. So in what's the complete opposite of what every normal writer has been told, the goal here should be tell, don't show. The visuals are entirely secondary. Well, all this ad is telling me is that this is a no flex zone, and that they should know better. It doesn't say a word about the product or the brand or literally anything. It is just a random sample track. You could put any random song in its place and it changes nothing. This is the worst kind of advertisement you could possibly do, making a commercial that does not mention your product at all. And yet they are so fucking common, these commercials that were made because a marketing executive heard their teenage kid blast a meme song and thought, I just found a way to appeal to the youths. No, you did not! Another great example of this bumfuck stupid approach to advertising is how any brand that's using the letter X as part of their marketing campaign will inevitably pay DMX so they can run a commercial that is just playing X gon' give it to ya on repeat. If you're not looking at the screen, you're gonna have no idea what this is talking about, and might think that DMX is coming to your area to play a concert. It's advertising DMX, not their own product, and yet the number of advertisements that do not understand this is baffling. Some of these commercials go really far in the direction of actively not advertising their product. Say what you will about the No Flex Zone and DMX spam commercials, but at least I can see some kind of food in the No Flex Zone commercial, and the DMX ads are almost always some truck brand showing road trip fantasies. On the off chance I do look up during a commercial, I can at least see what they're trying to sell me. But then there are these commercials that are the result of theater kids not realizing that this isn't their moment to make up for never getting their scripts turned into screenplays by Hollywood, so they create these ads that are just random skits. These are prevalent across the entire spectrum of bad commercials, but they're at their dumbest when the audio isn't doing any advertising either, so it's all left on the visuals to take up that task. These ones fucking don't, so even if you are looking at the TV during commercials, and if so, what planet are you from, you'll still have no idea what the hell they're trying to sell you until a random logo appears on screen for all of 2 seconds at the end of the ad. Commercials that are all music are the worst. Only a small step above them are ads that are mostly music but still remember to mention the name of their product at some point. You saw the thumbnail, you know what I'm talking about. The ad that made Shea commit the game-losing foul in Game 6 against Dallas. And it's for this reason that I hope the Oklahoma City Thunder never win a championship. Forget them stealing the Sonics from Seattle. The real biggest crime this team ever committed is having 2 of their best current players star in one of the worst commercials ever made that didn't include outright bigotry. And this one hasn't just been running during the NBA playoffs, it's apparently been getting constant run since March Madness. What a pro wants, What a pro needs. What the hell are you trying to sell me? I just held a better tune than either of them did. This is another one of those commercials where I think I remember what they were trying to sell me, cell phone services, but I am not confident in that, nor do I remember what cell service it might have been for. T-Mobile's coming to mind, but there was no pink in that commercial, so I doubt it. The whole scene had a color palette made up exclusively of grays and dark blues, perhaps the least likely colors to get someone to even briefly look up from their phones. The only significant memory I have of the ad is that there were two pro athletes who couldn't hold a key if they were trying to unlock their front door. This ad has gained proper infamy. There have been articles in major publications written about how much NBA fans fucking hate it, and yet it's still shown on constant repeat. There's a lot of commercials that fall into this category. 95% skit, 5% throwing in mention of whatever the fuck they're actually trying to sell you. And even though they do bother telling you what they're advertising, they are still horrendous ads because the focus isn't on the product. Nobody leaves the "what a pro wants" ad remembering what the product is. They remember the song, because the song is the vast majority of the ad. The math just doesn't work, especially since most of these ads aren't even creative about how they throw in mention of their product. It's almost always just the name of the brand and maybe their slogan set in a lifeless tone. T-Mobile, we got you 5G. The two parts of the ad aren't working together. They don't play off of each other. I could at least kinda forgive the "what a pro wants" ad if it was for something that you would expect a pro athlete to actually want. Like if this ad was for Foot Locker, it wouldn't be nearly as bad. What a pro wants? What a pro needs? You can find all that and more to step up your game this summer right here at Foot Locker. Come in and check out our awesome deals on the best gear during our peak performance playoff sale now through the end of the NBA Finals. There, I just made Foot Locker $1 billion. Wait, is Foot Locker still a thing? The opening of Dipshit 1 and Dipshit 2 singing like they've never heard music before would still be a bungling mess of stupidity, but at least it would be playing into something that makes the words they sang flow into the product being advertised. Nobody thinks Metro PCS when they hear Shai Gilgeous-Alexander forget what rhythm is. But where I'll give this ad the slightest bit of leeway is that I don't think they intended for it to sound dumb as fuck. These are two young star players. They're harmonizing on the court, now you get to see them harmonizing off the court while walking out of a lawyer's office or something? Is the lore in this ad that Chet and Shai got gay married thanks to good cell service? Anyways, I think the ad had good intentions. It wanted to play off the chemistry these two have in basketball. The song was supposed to be endearing. But there's an even worse version of this 95-5 ad structure that seems to want you to hate it. She's at the nail salon. She's at the grocery store. She's at the combination nail salon and grocery store. Let's repeat those exact same sentences 3 more times in a tone they devised at Guantanamo Bay for the sole purpose of torturing members of the Taliban. She's waterboarding. She's depriving them of food. She's waterboarding and depriving them of food. Y'all are lucky I can't hit that tone. These kinds of ads look to be made to play off rage culture, that getting people pissed off is a great way to get the word out about your stuff, because when people hate, they talk about what they hate, they name you, they get your brand out there more. And as much as I hate it, there is some merit to that idea. There's the old adage that controversy creates cash. But that only works if it's actually a controversy. If it's just annoying, even if it's really annoying, people will just push it away. You swat the fly on the wall. You get rid of the hornet's nest by your garage, but you tell fucking everyone if you find a bear in your basement. It's all about threat levels. Annoying, swat it, forget about it. Controversial, scream in terror, inform everyone. Basic human math. If conversations are had about annoying ads, they don't acknowledge the brand. Hey, did you see that commercial where they said stupid shit and couldn't sing? Yeah, I did. I don't remember what it was advertising, but it sure did suck. Now oppose that to a conversation had about an actual controversial ad. Can you believe Chrysler basically said, "We made the back seats of our cars bigger so you've got more room to sex"? If there's a controversy, a key part of the controversy is who is involved, and thus you name the offending party, raising brand awareness, though often in the worst possible way. Oh, and by the way, that's an actual ad campaign Chrysler ran. It was incredibly successful, in part because it was controversial. It's a credit to the marketing team that I still remember it was specifically for Chrysler, a car brand that people haven't given a shit about in like 15 years. The thing about that ad is that it was endearing and funny to some, controversial to others, and did it all while spending the ad building to the punchline without constantly saying the brand's name. Oppose this to the nail salon ad which, while not beating you over the head with the brand's name, instead beats you over the head with a collection of words that don't make sense together, then makes no attempt to make them make sense together before your ears have begun to bleed. And what makes it worse is that I don't think it's for some new physical store location thing that's a combination of those two things. I think it's for a fucking app that lets you basically buy groceries while you're somewhere else. As if Walmart and Target and basically every other major brand of stores doesn't have apps that let you do that already. Hell, just look at Uber Eats. Oh god. Celebrities ruining commercials. Let's talk about it. Before my younger brother started doing Uber Eats runs, I didn't know what brand these ads were for. I just knew them as the ones where Jennifer Aniston is an idiot, because that's the defining message of the ad, not how convenient their product is. And you know how it's annoying to see someone intentionally be stupid? That's how these ads come across. Why would I want to spend money on something being promoted by an in-character fucking moron? Would you buy something that Peter Griffin told you to buy? If your answer to that is yes, God bless you. Not only do these sorts of ads put so much weight on, look at the skit we got this cool celebrity to do, they also turn those celebrities into people whose decision-making skills you do not trust. There are so many commercials like this, where the joke is, the celeb we got is fucking stupid. Celebrities are a major reason that these kinds of commercials just go right over your head, when they're brought on to do the exact opposite. There are tons of these commercials where the point of the ad is, celeb do a skit, and not, celeb endorses our product. You are not using the weight of the celebrity you have at your disposal to add legitimacy to your product and thus attract new customers who think, well, if that grill is good enough for boxing champion George Foreman, it must be incredible. Subway is one of the few brands that gets it. They're using NBA stars to endorse eating their sandwiches, and they've taken the bounty of charisma that is Charles Barkley and made him the narrator of these commercials, giving him back and forths with current star athletes about the sandwiches that always concludes with both of them endorsing Subway. Barkley was part of maybe my favorite commercial ever for Taco Bell about 10 years ago. The $5 box, it rocks, it rocks. And then Chuck would sing a bit more about why he likes it so much, what's in it, why you should go to Taco Bell right now and get one. It was exactly what a commercial should be and took full advantage of the celebrity they had at their disposal. Most restaurants actually understand this. Subway, McDonald's, Popeyes, KFC, even the Arby's and Burger King ads that people don't seem to like that much, they do a good job of telling you about the deals they offer and why you should eat their food. BK lets me have it my way, and Arby's gives me big meat. Along with fast food, there's two other industries that really understand how to advertise the product they're trying to sell you. Gambling apps and drugs. Gambling is pretty fucking easy to advertise if we're being honest. Just focus on what gets people addicted to anything, because that's what they're selling you, an addiction. If gambling apps were forced to be honest about probability, like drug companies are forced to list off all the potential side effects in medicine, they'd have a lot harder time selling you on it. But since they don't, you'll never hear about how these put $5 in, receive $150 in bonus bets offers are basically the equivalent of a buy one get 10 free deal on bricks of crack, how much the average player loses over the course of a year, how many of their users end up developing playing habits consistent with addictive behavior, or how 99% of the money won is done so by 0.1% of the player base. Basically, fuck every gambling company trying to drip feed you the idea that sports betting is some lighthearted activity that makes watching sports more fun until you're sucking on their teat with all the might of your wallet. Their goal is to create addicts, and goddamn they've got the right marketing teams for it. Now from gambling to drugs, let's talk about all the pills you see getting thrown across your screen. But before we do, I must ask, why does every channel showing pro sports assume that I'm a man in my late 50s with trouble getting an erection? I am not. Anyways, a lot of these drug commercials do a good job of explaining the point of their product and how it can improve your life in the long term. They've often got skits that play into what you're being held back from, followed by strong breakdowns of how the drug helps break down those barriers. There is, however, one specific drug commercial that annoys me greatly, and it's the one whose entire premise seems to be reminding the viewer that they're allowed to say poop on TV. I get that it's a laxative. I get that the point of a laxative is to make pooping easier, but my god, say the word once, not 30 fucking times! That isn't a word people normally like to hear unless they're a fetishist for it. But yeah, fast food brands, drug companies, gambling apps. They're the ones that consistently seem to understand how to make a commercial that gets the points of their product across. Outside of those industries, it feels like a lot of marketing these days is being done by dipshits in their late 20s that look at what works for viral content on social media and are trying to apply those same things to broader advertising. This sometimes involves outright taking popular TikTok dance songs and making them the crux of the sound of the ad. It's gotten very, very stupid. The basics of advertising don't change, so let's stop pretending they have. There's a reason gambling companies are so good at advertising, because the two are much the same. They employ the same mental hooks, wanting the potential consumer to bank on probability. With gambling, it's that you'll get more money. With advertising, it's that your money will be well spent. Then you look at some of these major brands and realize how much they're being robbed blind by whoever they're paying to make ads that don't do that at all. This has been a rant about commercials. If you'd like to hear me rant about other things, leave a comment below. I've been Go Low, and there's a lot of brands that should now hire me as their new director of marketing because there's no reason for the state of commercials to be this bad.